Finally, the James Webb Space Telescope has discovered something in space, which has not only silenced NASA researchers and astronauts, but has also discarded, like a rejected sack, everything that was previously told to us about space. Perhaps this is the biggest discovery of this century that will completely transform our knowledge of the universe. Let's start from the beginning. It was Christmas Day, and the date was December 25, 2021. On this day, NASA launched the largest telescope in the history of dates, the James Webb Space Telescope, into space. The purpose of this telescope was to capture the infrared radiation present in space and determine how the universe was formed and what actually happened immediately after the Big Bang. In simple words, this telescope can peek into the past, exploring what happened millions or billions of years ago. It is tasked with finding answers to questions about how stars and galaxies came into existence. Lifting the burden of human questions and venturing into its mission to seek their answers, this telescope has set out on its journey. The question arises as to how any machine can look into the past. To be honest, when we ask this question, we all observe the past. Whether it's a human or an animal, anyone can see something only when light reflects off it and enters the observer's eyes. From there, the signal goes to the brain, and the brain presents an image of that thing to the eyes in response. Now, even if a tiny fraction of a microsecond is involved in all these processes, it is still in the past. That's why it is said that, if our sun were to be destroyed, we would find out about it on Earth, approximately 8 minutes and 15 seconds later. This is because it takes about 8 minutes and 15 seconds for the sunlight, which is the source of this information, to reach our eyes. Exactly, when the infrared lights emanating from a celestial body present in space, which have been wandering in space for countless years, collide with the lenses of the James Webb Telescope, this telescope provides us with an image of that body. From the energy of this infrared light, we can estimate the age of the body from which this light has collided. Because the lower the energy, the older the object is likely to be. In August 2023, the James Webb Telescope captured some infrared lights that had traveled from approximately 6 galaxies. The collision of these lights with the James Webb Telescope created a sensation in the world of space because, based on the energy of their light, it was determined that these 6 galaxies had come into existence about 13.2 billion years ago. This means that these 6 galaxies existed in the cosmos 13.2 billion years before the present day. Now, let's understand this carefully. We all know that our universe came into existence as a result of the Big Bang, which occurred approximately 13.7 billion years ago. Scientists believed that immediately after the Big Bang, the universe started expanding at a rate of 1 part in 10 million per second. It began to expand in chunks, doubling its original volume 90 times. As time passed, 380,000 years went by, and the entire universe became filled with atomic particles such as protons, neutrons, and electrons. All of this continued for 400 million years. Here, remember that for the first 400 million years after the Big Bang, the entire universe was dark, there was not even a speck of light. Then, after 500 million years, all the atomic particles that were spread throughout the universe came together in the form of an atom, and by combining, they created the first star of this universe. This star was the first luminous body in the universe. It was the first entity from which light was emanating, marking the end of darkness in the universe. As you know, galaxies bring together stars, planets, and solar systems. Therefore, the first galaxy took about 1,000 million, or 1 billion years to form. In other words, according to scientists, the first galaxy in the universe came into existence after a billion years of the Big Bang. In August 2023, the James Webb Telescope intercepted infrared light coming from those 6 galaxies, whose age is estimated to be 13.2 billion years. If the Big Bang occurred 13.7 billion years ago and these 6 galaxies came into existence 13.2 billion years ago, it implies that these galaxies formed around 0.5 billion years, or 500 million years, after the Big Bang. However, conventional scientific understanding suggested that it took about 1 billion years for the first galaxy to form. And these galaxies took about 2 billion years to reach the teen ages. James Webb, in capturing this knowledge, not only disrupted the existing narrative, but also unveiled secrets of the universe that were hidden from us until now. And the most fascinating part is that among these 6 galaxies, there is one galaxy with a shape so incredibly strange and terrifying that it defies any verbal explanation. No one can describe its shape in simple terms. No one can say whether this galaxy is round or spiral. To illustrate its shape, one would need a dedicated whiteboard. This galaxy is more than 1 million times larger than our Milky Way galaxy. Now, this revelation is shaking scientists to the core. On one hand, this galaxy formed just 500 million years after the Big Bang, which was twice as fast as estimated. On top of that, the explanation for this discovery happened so rapidly that it left our galaxy behind. Perhaps, on hearing this, you might find it a common thing, but what is so special about it that scientists claimed it was formed 1 billion years after the Big Bang, and in reality, it formed just 500 million years after? What astonishing thing is hidden in this? Estimation errors are indeed possible, but let me tell you, it is truly astounding. The way James Webb has proven when the galaxy was formed, who knows, tomorrow we might discover what actually happened immediately after the Big Bang, and how did these galaxies, stars and especially our Earth came into existence. The biggest question, that sets our hearts pounding, is whether the universe was really formed as a result of the Big Bang, or was the matter something else? Furthermore, science also states that when the process of star formation began around 400 million years later, the entire universe was filled with protons, neutrons, electrons, and hydrogen gases. These hydrogen gas clouds did not allow the light from the emerging stars to travel far. If that was the case, then how did the light that James Webb captured manage to reach here? This telescope will work for the next 20 years, which means there is a long journey ahead of exploration, curiosity, and romance with the universe. There is enough to astonish and learn something new. Let's add a little more to your amazement and tell you about a black hole that formed only 50,070 billion years after the Big Bang. James Webb observed the brightest galaxy, CERS 1090, for just an hour. When the data was sent to NASA after an hour, everyone was even more astonished, and their mouths were wide open, because the galaxy they thought was the brightest galaxy had hidden a black hole in its center, which is 10 million times larger than our Sun. They got a second shock of surprise when they realized that this black hole came into existence only 570 million years after the Big Bang. On one hand, scientists say that it took at least 3 billion years for the universe to reach its perfection, while on the other hand, James Webb Telescope tells a different story. It says that forget about 3 billion years. A black hole of a size of 10 million times larger than our Sun was already in existence just 570 million years after the Big Bang. How did this black hole form so quickly, and how did it become so massive? Because at that time, there was nothing in the universe that it could consume to grow this big. Yes, black holes, with their tremendous gravitational pull, attract various stars or celestial bodies towards them. The mass of these stars or celestial bodies is added to the black hole, causing its size and gravity to increase many times over. The James Webb Space Telescope has indeed provided NASA with the expected data. The project was launched to refine the knowledge we had previously estimated through experiments conducted while sitting on Earth. Do you think that in the next 10 to 20 years, the James Webb Space Telescope will completely transform our fundamental understanding of space? Our comments section is open for your responses. Hope you like the video. If you like the video, please share it, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for more videos notifications. Thanks.